Most, I'm gonna let y'all, some of y'all in who don't got your mug, but you know, we let y'all slide this time.
My mug.
Wait a minute, open it up yet. All right, collect.
I was trying to wait to put it under the Christmas tree.
I mean, you want the one that said you gonna put it up on the Christmas tree, right? And then you gonna go.
I want to put it under the Christmas tree.
That's funny.
Hey, Courtney.
That's funny. Hey, how's it going, everybody?
Good.
Doing good.
Hi.
Hey, all right. So I'm going to mute it for a quick second. Hang on, make sure I get my bearings right. This is the largest meeting thus far. Okay, got a little comments rolling in. All right. And we are before I mute it, so we will take it there, but I will let you give you the mic at that time and you can ask your question. Hang on, let me mute everybody. You can still hear me? Everybody still hear me? Boom. All right, cool. I put some cells. No. All right. So thank you guys for coming. I am super excited. You know, we've been doing these cool coffee click conversations early in the morning. So it's really cool to hop on and just really take a deep dive and pull together all that we've been talking about over the last several months. As you know, we talk about a little bit of everything from relationships to business to you name it. I feel like it's a live coffee shop, you know, and I feel like whatever conversation comes up, it just comes up. I think that's the main thing that's a part of life is not, we have so many different facets of us. It's not just business, it's not just relationship. We have family, we have extended family, you name it. And I think we all go through the same thing. So tonight it was very important for me to bring someone special, someone that's relatable, someone that's doing amazing things, and to just be able to see somebody who doing the things that we inspire to do, to show that one is possible, is two, you don't have to change who you are. It's about just hustling, handling your business, because when you already are trying to do something that most people just won't do, you're going to have to put that work in. So again, I'm just super excited to have a special young lady who I met, what was it, last year, this year? I don't know, 2020, just one big, feel like 5 years. So I don't know if it was last year or this year, but we went to Mexico, and just definitely fortunate to have met this young lady. Like I said, she's doing amazing things. You know, my favorite saying is, if you didn't come to disrupt, don't even bother showing up. And I think that's something that she bleeds as well. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce you guys to Pinky Cole. Yay! I'm gonna put the little, I'm gonna hit a yay, hit applause. Yay! Okay, I'm mute. Oh, there we go.
Courtney.
All right. Yeah, we're quick.
This is beautiful, Courtney. And I'm proud of you.
Aww.
I'm ready.
Yay!
Hang on 1 second. Let me make sure we all right. I want to bring her up big so I can see her. Hang on, give me a second.
Okay, I'm back. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I just need to find you. Hold on. There you go. Boom. There we go. Thank you.
Courtney, what's going on?
Girl, what's going on? When was this? First of all, was it 2020, 2019? Was it?
When did we go? I think we went earlier this year, but like, do you know that that was one of the best experiences of my life? And I think that women need to do that more often, because to be in a room with like-minded individuals is priceless. You can't pay for that. And when I met you, you had such a spark and such a light. You know how you look in the mirror and you see yourself? and then you go somewhere and meet other people and you see yourself, and I saw myself in you. So I was like, oh, I like Courtney. So I'm just so grateful that I got the opportunity to meet you, and I'm just so happy to be here. And hopefully some of the gems that I drop here can be some really good takeaways, and people can really learn and grow from them and just like tap through the roof.
I definitely feel that way. Like I said, it definitely feel like it was 10 years ago. We've been in 2020 for about 10 years.
Right.
But I think, like I said, it was real special for me to bring you here because, like I said, you are doing amazing things, and it's been a challenging year, but you're not stopping. You know what I mean? It's like you have to even go even harder. And like I said, for me, it's hard to find like-minded people. And I think it was the exact same thing when you got there and spoke. I'm like, oh, okay, we definitely. And my prior vice president has been, like I said, been telling me, Courtney, you need to meet this girl. You need to meet this girl. I'm like, who is she? Who is she? And it took like a couple of years for it to connect. So when I finally met you, I was like, oh, this is the young lady she kept saying, like, and I think every time we're at like an event or something, like I'm leaving, you're coming, or it was always like something like that. But like I said, just super proud of you to see the things that you're doing. I'm excited to just pick your brain and learn as well. And like I told them, I have a saying that says, if you didn't come to disrupt, don't even bother showing up, right? So I want to get off to that in a minute. I want to know, what does that mean to you? But before we get started, I just would like for you to do a quick little intro, not necessarily quick, but I think you have an interesting story, and I would love for you to share that with everyone.
Absolutely. So for the people who aren't familiar, I am the CEO, the founder, the fry cook, all of the above at this little restaurant joint called Slutty Vegan ATL. And I started this concept physically in 2018, but I've been grinding all my life, right? So the day I came out the womb, I've been an entrepreneur. I was throwing parties when I was 14. I was selling candy, selling food, doing hair. I was doing everything because I had a vision for my life that was bigger than the average person that was around me. So as I got older, I moved to Atlanta, got to school, became a Delta, became a CAU, moved to LA because I had these big dreams of being an actress. But God has a way of working things out that I ended up getting into TV. TV pushed me to New York City. And while I was working there as a television producer, I got a call from the Maury Show to be a producer. So while I was working on that show for about 3 years, I decided that I wanted to open up a restaurant. So I didn't know the first thing about a restaurant. So I said, all right, I'm gonna do this. So I opened up my first restaurant. It was called Pinky's Jamaican and American Restaurant. And that concept did extremely well, not having no advertisement. I had lines on the block, people coming, but I'm selling jerk chicken and I don't even eat jerk chicken. So after having that concept for about 2 years, I lost that to a grease fire. And I'm telling you all of this because all of my life, I have been leveling up and I didn't even realize it. I was preparing for Slutty Vegan because here I am in 2018 working as a casting director for a show called Y'all Fix My Life. They relocated me to Atlanta to work on the ground, but that was God really relocating me to start this multi-million-dollar business. So I'm sitting in a house one day and I come up with this concept out of nowhere because I was hungry and I wanted some vegan comfort food. And out of nowhere, I'm like, Slutty Vegan. And this was special. It was different because all of my ideas, I'm an idea machine. Me and you when I met you, we sat and talked about 10 ideas in about 10 minutes, right? So this idea was very specific because I didn't want to share it with anybody. And I just got in the trenches and I started researching and I started networking and figuring out ways to make this concept so very extra special, especially in Atlanta. And I did that. And when I tell you, I didn't expect my concept to be as big as it is today. If you would have told me 3 years ago, I would have had one of the hottest brands in the country, I would have laughed at you, not because I didn't believe in myself, but because I wasn't thinking big enough. So here I am, it's 2020. I'm working on my 4th location. I got 2 food trucks. I'm working on 13 locations that I'm opening within the next 2 years. I got a movie coming out. I got a song with a Grammy Award winning artist. I got a cookbook coming out. I have all of these things that's connected to my brand. And it all came as an idea in my head. So Slutty Vegan ATL, plant-based burger joint. And I really get the opportunity to help people reimagine food.
Wow. That's a lot. You just answered my last question. You know what I'm saying? What's coming next? But you know, it's interesting because obviously, you know, food is a very challenging. I put food in there in the same category as beauty. Those two industries that a lot of people don't even want to touch because they feel like they're oversaturated. Yep. Restaurants is so tough. It takes much more than being a person who knows how to cook. It's beyond that. So I guess my question to you is, for one, how do you even thrive in the industry that most people just really fail at because it's just a tough industry to even, one, break off into, then two, to actually scale? What are those things that you think are just that's key in your survival?
That's interesting that you said that because it's true, right? Once upon a time, they said that the restaurants don't last more than 5 years. These days, restaurants aren't lasting more than 2 years, right? Yeah. So here I am running a business, and for the bulk of my business, I've been running it in the middle of a pandemic, in the middle of one of the worst times in our country and our economy. You got George Floyd, you got COVID, you got the pandemic, you got we're losing money, nobody's making money. So all of these things are happening on top of being in one of the most difficult industries that you could ever imagine. Restaurant business is hard. So to be able to maximize in a business is so very difficult. And not only just maximize, but actually make a profit in a business, you got to be a creative entrepreneur, right? So what I've mastered is the art of pivot. That's number one. And creativity, right? I was a creative before, but I had to get really creative and really understand that this is bigger than just a restaurant. It is bigger than just burgers and fries. I'm creating an experience so that people will want to come over and over again, right? And that's priceless. You'll get people through the door all the time. People will get tired of food. But when you create an experience and you create such a solid brand that you're going to get people walking through the door every single day of the week. So my emphasis is more on my marketing and how I tell the story about how I created this business. So for the people who follow my page, shameless plug, Pinky907, but if you follow my page, I only post the journey, right? So I post the journey because I know that people love the story. People want to be a part of that story. And because of that story, it's going to drive traffic to my page. On my Slutty Vegan page, I'm very specific on my social media. I make people laugh, I make people proud, and I give them information. So I take it away from the fact that this is just a restaurant. Now I've created the Coca-Cola, Pepsi-esque experience where they put an emphasis on the experience first and then the product last, right? So I've been able to be successful doing that, coupled with the fact that philanthropy is at the core of who I am. So I started a foundation and I made it my mission to be able to give back. So while I'm growing in business, I'm also helping the community grow as well. So it's bigger than just flipping burgers and flipping fries. So to your question, how am I able to really like thrive through that? I just make it unique. I learn how to pivot. I put an emphasis on my marketing. I make it raw, I make it authentic, and I make it me. How I am right here is how I am with everybody. I'm raw, I'm a little loud, I'm a little ghetto, but I'm me and people love it. And they know the story. They know that I'm the product of a father who spent 22 years in prison and went to jail the very day that I was born, right? So people also know that I'm the product of 2 immigrant parents. My mother got her citizenship when I was 11 years old, and I watched her working 4 jobs every single day, and I had to figure it out. Like, people love that story. They also know the story of me being a hometown story, becoming Miss Clark. And people love the story. So because people love the story, it has allowed me the ability to put more emphasis on that, and people love the brand, and it'll keep driving them through the door.
Okay, that's what's up. Let me ask you this. So one thing I always say when it comes to business is kind of like a twofold. So you have the logistics, you have the business, you have that part of it. But then you have the, what I call is the lights, camera, action. So it's like, what's the story that you're going to tell? You know what I mean? Like, what's the lights, camera, action? And I think that's the part that I can really dig with your brand, because it's like, I see you and I'm like, she gets it. Like, she gets it. You know, that's what's going to separate you from another, just a traditional restaurant. You have to give people an experience. But the question that I want to know is, how did you come up with the name? That is a very distinctive name, and you're able to take that thing and flip it in like 1,000 ways. So how did you come up with the name?
So being in the industry for 10 years, I've been able to master what people pay attention to, right? So you ever watching something on TV and you're like, all right, this is boring, I'm turning the channel. or, you know, watching a TV show, something just sparks your interest that makes you stay. So I use the experience of working as a television producer and the fact that people need two things. They need sex and they need food. I mean, they may not need it, but they want sex and they want food. Right? So if I'm able to merge the two most pleasurable experiences in life, and that's sex and that's food, and couple it with my television experience, I know that I can make something that's going to create a dialogue that people want to talk about. So when Slutty Vegan came, you think about veganism, and there's this stigma that vegan is boring, vegan don't taste good, the flavor ain't good. So I said, I want to create something that people, especially Black people, can connect to, and it's going to be fun, it's going to be racy, but it don't have nothing to do with sex, because you don't associate being slutty and being vegan. So when I put the names together, I'm like, damn, this is genius, because everything is green and light and flowery. And I'm like, I want to add some spice, some sexiness to the word vegan and redefine what it means to live a different kind of lifestyle. And I did that. And when I came up with that name, when I tell you that was like a gold mine, but it wasn't always easy in the beginning, Courtney. Because, you know, when I initially started, I got a lot of pushback.
Yeah.
You know, I got pushback from corporations. I missed out on, well, opportunities that I thought were good, but clearly they weren't the opportunities that I was supposed to get anyway, because there was something better. But I had to walk away from opportunities because they wanted me to change my name. So I had to explain to people, if you can't get past the fact that this is a Black-owned, woman-owned business that's helping people redefine the narrative of what we put in our mouth while helping the community at the same time, then I don't even want to do business with you. So today, I don't have issues with the name. People love the name. And even when you go to the restaurant, like all of our menu items have like sexual undertones, right? So you got the one night stand, you got the menage a trois, you got the sloppy toppy, the fussy hussy, but all of those sandwiches really just speak to an experience. So I even created like a definition called slutified. When you eat the food, after you eat it, you get slutified. And slutified means to have a euphoric experience eating a plant-based burger. And I literally have been able to utilize this racy ass name to get people excited about this concept, and it makes them ask questions. And when you can get somebody to ask questions, you can get them to come through the door.
Exactly. So let me ask you, with the phrase that I always say, if you didn't come to disrupt, don't even bother showing up. So when you look at these industries, what does that mean to you to do something different in the industry like this? What does that saying means to you? Because for me, it's about really articulating to people. You have so many people on here who are looking to get into business. And my number one thing that I try to tell them is like, it's okay for you to be in your own lane. It's totally okay for you to do something that's different. So even with the current brand that I have, Cool Coffee Clique, it was a risk me making it pink. So I already knew I was going to get pushback, like from men drinking a coffee, and I had to explain to the retailers, you know, men not going to, you know, so, but for me, when you look at coffee, you look at traditional dark color, black color. So why am I going to get off into an industry doing it the exact same way? So what does that mean to you? If you didn't come to disrupt, don't even bother showing up.
So I had this saying that's similar to what you say. When you stay ready, you ain't never got to get ready, right?
Right.
So when I think of being a disruptor, I've always been that, right?
Right.
The people who make it in life are the disruptors, the people who break the glass ceilings, the people who understand that the sky is not the limit, that's just the surface, right? Those are the people who think outside of the box and think above the rest. And when I think about disrupting, being a disruptor means being a creator, you know, going against the grain, doing what people say that you can't do. You know how many people told me that that's not going to work? You shouldn't do that. That name is too racy, and I did it anyway. Being a disruptor is being a rebel.
Exactly.
Being a disruptor is walking in a room and owning a room and being confident in every room that you walk in. And when you walk in that room, they smell you before you even come through the door. That's what being a disruptor is, right? So when you're an entrepreneur and you're a disruptor, you got to show up that way. You got to talk that way. You got to walk that way. You got to look that way. Your presence has to exude disruption, because that's the only way that people are going to take you seriously. That's the only way that confidence is going to be exuded. And that's the only way you're going to get all the opportunities that you want in this lifetime. So for me, the reason why I get so many opportunities is because I'm a natural born disruptor, right? I ain't got to beg, borrow, pitch. I ain't got to do none of that. You know why? Because I built something so solid that's irresistible. So when you create something so irresistible, people are going to want a part of it. They're going to be begging for it. And that is how I've been doing my business all of this time and being a disruptor in the process. And a disruptor is not something negative, right? That's positive. That's being powerful. That's being authentic. That's being organic. That's showing up and being an example of what it looks like to be a Black woman who walks in excellence in everything that she does. So that's what being a disruptor means to me. And I wake up, when I eat, when I breathe, when I sleep, everything that I do it at 100% because I am a disruptor.
Okay, well, that's the best answer I done heard. Let me ask you this. So when you started out, did you envision this way? You know what I mean? Like, did you feel like you had like that plan, or did it evolve into what it is like at that starting point? Because I know with the main choice, I can't say, of course, when I start anything, my hopes is for it to be biggest, best, but did you have that in mind when you started, or was this like, let me kind of keep up, or did this thing just evolve?
So, since I was a kid, I was that kid. And Courtney, you remind me of me, so I know this was you too. When I was a kid, I used to tell everybody, I'm gonna be famous. Like, everybody's gonna know my name. The world is gonna know my name. And I've always had that in my brain, always. This is why the power of the tongue is so real, because literally all of my life, I've been speaking life. I always say, I ain't never gonna be regular. I don't know what that means, but I ain't never gonna be regular. I'm going to live a grand, beautiful life. I'll be able to get anything that I want. I'll be able to take care of my family. I have always thought big of myself. So was the concept bigger than me? Absolutely. But I've always, every level of my life, I was 22, making $5,000 a week as a television producer, the youngest television producer, right? I was the queen of my school. And, being a queen in the South is a big deal. Coming from East Baltimore with a loud mouth and blonde short hair. Like, I literally, every step of my life, I've always had abundant blessings coming to me. So I knew that whatever I touch, turn to gold. There's nothing that I ever touched that ain't work. And if it didn't work, it wasn't supposed to work. So when Slutty Vegan came, it was big, but it was a lot bigger than me. And I'm just like, oh. So at first, I'll be totally transparent. I would get anxiety because the company grew so fast. So I'm like, hey, are they gonna stop loving me tomorrow? Like, are they gonna stop? Are the lines gonna drop? Are people gonna stop coming? But I had to realize that all the confidence that I talk to people about, I got to put that same confidence back into myself, because I'm worthy of all of this. I'm worthy of the lines. I'm worthy of the revenue. I'm worthy of the notoriety. I'm worthy of all of these things. So why put myself less than when you work hard and you deserve everything that you get, right? So I got past that place and I'm just like, okay, everything that's coming to me, I'm gonna take it. And literally everything started happening. And I just been authentic in everything that I do. And that's just my motto, Courtney, in life. Like, I don't borrow from nobody. I'm very fair. I do clean business. I pay my taxes on time. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't trying to cheat the system. And because of that, all these great opportunities just continue to come to me. So, it amazes me every single day. I never get comfortable with this business. And for the entrepreneurs in here, never ever get comfortable. I don't care how good it looks. Right? I ain't never going to sit back and just be like, all right, it's cool. They be out without me. And that don't mean that I got to be physically involved in everything, because I work on the business. I don't work in the business, but like, I know that there's so much greatness for my business. I know that my business is going to be bigger than the McDonald's, bigger than the Burger Kings, and no shade to them, but it's a new dog in town. That's me. And I'm confident about that. So I know that everything that I touch in this business is just going to go up. Today, I actually just broke ground on my 4th location right before I got on this live. So if you
that's what's up.
Yeah, thank you. So
where is it? Where is it?
Pont City Market in Atlanta.
Okay.
So, and then on Wednesday, listen, let me give you a timeline. And I'm not bragging, y'all. I'm just
I want it. That was next.
so last week, I just closed on a $1.4 million building. A 33-year-old woman just closed on a $1.4 million building with no cosigner. Okay.
That's a big deal.
A very big deal, because you got to have good credit financials. They can take the life for that, right? So, $1.4 million building last week. Today, I broke ground on my new building. On Wednesday, I'm closing in on a building that I purchased to put Slutty Vegan in Birmingham, Atlanta on Wednesday. And then next week, I'm closing in on another building. So my mindset is to disrupt, just like you said, and make sure that I understand with myself that I'm worthy. Anything that I want, I can get. There's nothing that I say that I want that I can't attain. I can attain anything that I want. If I say I want to do it, I'm going to do it. If I say I want it, I'm going to get it. And nobody's going to tell me otherwise. So I'm just walking in this like world of abundance more now than ever, especially because I don't take it for granted the fact that we are in the middle of a pandemic and I'm able to do all of these things.
That's true. One thing that you said that really resonated, and I think sometimes it takes later on in business for people to really understand and get it. But you said something that I always say, it's like, I do clean business. And it's like either sometimes it takes a point to get there to see what business really consists of, because you can't say that everybody's out there doing clean business. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's one thing people think you have to start stepping on people, and you don't. At the end of the day, if you treat people right, I'm going to treat people the best that I can. I'm going to handle every situation the best that I can. I'm going to do the best thing that I can, but you got to do clean business. And I swear, I think people think you have to be cutthroat out here for you to thrive.
Yep, and that is not true. You don't have to. All you got to do is move with pure intentions, and the universe is going to work itself out for you.
That's true. That's true. So I know you went over some of the things that you're saying, what's next. I want to hear some of those. I want to be able to really articulate and hear those things when you say, because I hadn't heard franchise, I hadn't heard movies. I want to hear a little bit more about, because we want to make sure that we have our ears and we want to make sure that we support. So can you talk a little bit more about those things that you have coming up next?
Absolutely. So a few things. I'm doing a life insurance initiative with another local business here called Big Dave's Cheesesteaks, where we're getting every single Black man in Atlanta life insurance if they make $30,000 or less that they don't have to pay for. So we footing the bill for that. So that's one thing that we're doing. I'm actually opening up a vegan Philly cheesesteak concept at the top of that. I'm doing a movie. So basically it's going to be the modern day Good Burger. It's going to be called The Sauce. So we're working on that right now. I actually recorded a song with a Grammy Award winning artist already. I did a jingle competition, and the person who won the competition, I promised them that I would put them on that track with that artist, and I did that. So I literally changing her life. So we're dropping that song in a couple of weeks. I just got a book deal. So I'm putting out a cookbook called Eat Plants, Bitch. That's going to be out in the summertime of 20. Yeah, it's a racy, right? So I got that. I'm obviously opening up these new locations. I actually just invested in 3 Black-owned businesses, so I'm excited about it. So I created a fund. So those are just like the short list of all the things I got going on. My foundation, I do so much through the foundation. The foundation got just as much legs as Slutty Vegan does. I'm about to do an initiative with the Steve Harvey Foundation to provide gas and electric for anybody who needs it in Atlanta. But everything that we're doing, we're very intentional about everything. And I'm using Slutty Vegan as the house to funnel in all these other businesses. So I'm the type of person, Courtney, that I like to call myself a jack of all trades, but you know, they say jack of all trades and master of none. And I don't believe that. I feel like you do it right.
Yeah.
Right? And how I've been able to do it is I said, okay, cool. If Slutty Vegan is doing so well, I can create legs on Slutty Vegan and attach everything to that brand and do all the things that I wanted to do. I want to do a movie, so I'm gonna do a movie about Slutty Vegan, right? Right. I want to do a song. I love music. My mother's a musician. So I did a song about Slutty Vegan. It's a jingle for my business. So every single thing that I'm doing, I'm tying it into the umbrella brand. So now they're all connected and I can continue to grow the brand beyond just being a restaurant. So I just got a lot of good stuff in the works and I'm excited about it.
Well, that's good. That's what's up. So what I want to do, I want to take a few questions from the people in the audience. So give me one quick second. Put these participants up. Hold on, we deep up in here.
I know you got to keep it in here. It's amazing.
Okay. I am going to, hang on one second. I wanna. Okay.
Okay.
Take this off of mute real quick. Ladies, gentlemen, y'all hanging in there?
Yes.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
I'm so excited for you.
Congratulations.
She's amazing, isn't she?
Amazing.
Feel like I got a little sister. Look, I'm 40 now, so you know, when I turn 40, everybody like my little sister now. So,
I'm 44.
You 44? All right. Yo, my little sister now.
Wow.
So,
Let me see.
all right. So I am going to pass the mic to. Is she there? She's good now. All right. Let's see. Let's take one from. So I do want to say this before I take, because I do see a question that I want to take to talk to Pinky about. I was doing a master class. I think, I can hear you right, Pinky? Okay, let me unmute, boom. Hang on, I think I muted you too.
Okay, we hear.
Okay, cool. I was doing a class the other day and a young lady, she was like, well, Courtney, she was like, I want to be real transparent. She said, she said, I seen that you started the main choice and you took this thing to like, these high levels. And she was like, but when I seen you come out with the coffee brand, like initially, she said, I was really thinking like, how was she going to do this? She was like, I just couldn't see you going from hair to coffee. She was like, I just couldn't make the connection. She said, I didn't think it was going to work. And I said, well, thank you for being transparent. I said, but I feel like the thing that people don't understand is that if you can go through the journey and if you can achieve what I call like that blueprint, you can then take that and duplicate that and do other things. So for me, it was about, I wasn't too quick to take on new things when I was building the main choice, because I feel like I don't want to duplicate a problem. I don't want to duplicate something being done the wrong way. But if I was successful at one thing, I should be able to take that same concept, take that same process, apply it to something else and do the exact same thing. And I think I'm going to say I'm an African-American female. I think sometimes we get caught up in doing things our way or doing things how we normally see it. But I feel like if you want to do something different, you just got to go. You got to go for it. You have to trust and believe in who you are. I get the question all the time, well, how do you stay motivated? Or, what about those times you felt like it wasn't going to work? I said, well, shoot, I don't mean to sound cocky, but I never not thought it wasn't going to work. Like that's the point of doing it, right? So in my brain, and I'm not going to say everything that I do is going to turn to gold. I think they are. That's the whole purpose of me doing it. But if you don't go into these things believing that you can do the unthinkable, believing that you can take your business to another level, if you don't believe in yourself, why would somebody else? And it's going to show in your business. It's going to show.
Exactly.
So what are your thoughts on that?
I totally agree. Listen, if you're going to be a bear, you better be a grizzly bear. And when I tell you I'm a grizzly, everything I do, I'm just like you, Courtney. Like, I don't walk into something saying, well, it might not work. No, I know it's going to work. You know why? Because I'm that confident in myself. I'm so confident in myself. Either you're going to be inspired by me or you're going to be intimidated, because I believe in the unthinkable, just like you. Like, I'm so confident in my ideas because I'm a thinker, right? entrepreneurs, we're all thinkers. I done thought about it a million different ways before I executed it, right? I thought about what could have went wrong. I thought about how it was going to work, what people want to say. I think about all of these things because I'm so intricate like that. So when I finally execute some stuff, I already done thought about everything. And even if there's some hiccups along the way, I know that the bigger picture of my project is going to work. So as an entrepreneur, you had to have an unwavering belief in yourself that the thing that you want to do is going to work. And even if in the flesh it don't turn into gold, you know what's gold? The knowledge, what you learned along the way, the lessons that you learned, the experience. When my restaurant caught on fire back in 2016, I didn't have fire insurance. You know why? Because ain't nobody tell me that I needed fire insurance, because I didn't think my restaurant was going to catch on fire. And guess what? At Slutty Vegan, I got fire insurance, life insurance, I got people insurance, I got every type of insurance that you can think of. But the gold was the knowledge that I learned in the business that in the flesh may not have stayed gold, but I learned so much from it. So as entrepreneurs, y'all in here, I'm telling you, listen, you got to believe in that thing. So many people, I done sat at the table with billionaires. You know why people come to me every day? No lie, Courtney, I get about 15 to 20 people a day that want to invest or franchise in my business, because they see how much I believe in myself. They see how much we as a business believe in the brand, and people want to be a part of confidence. Think about it. Women, we're all ladies in here. We only want a confident man. You don't go out seeking a man that's not confident. That's like that's business. That's everything. Everything that we do, we got to move in confidence. And when you move in confidence, you'll be able to attract all the things that you want.
That's true. That's true. Well, thank you for that. I'm going to take and go on. Atalia. Hey.
Hi.
How you doing?
Hi.
I am blessed. How are you ladies doing?
Highly favored.
Amen. Amen. I have a question to both of you guys. How do you guys not get burnt out with so much on your plate? I feel like sometimes it's not necessarily easy, but common to reflect on negative things while trying to focus on the positive. So I just wanted you guys to share, how do you guys keep yourself in a place of peace, a place that is calm, so you can focus on your brand and continue to do what God ordained you to do?
Well, I guess for me, I'm going to be very transparent. I can't say it's always going to be peaceful and calm. Let me just start out by saying that. And another thing about myself is a challenge does not constitute me being burnt out in my brain. You know what I mean? When I get up every day and I start work, for me, it's like there's going to be good things that's going to happen and there's going to be not so good. But I never look at those not so good as breakers or as things that I'm getting that's going to cause me to get burnt out. I'm like, this is an issue. How do I resolve it so I can get on to the next thing? And I guess for me, that's how I look at everything. But when it comes to getting burnt out, I'm probably the wrong one to ask, because I load myself up with stuff. And I think that's just probably my comfort zone. It took me a long time to get there and realize. And somebody was telling me one time, like, you must like chaos. And I was like, I got offended. I'm like, how do I like chaos? I was like, that's, I'm like, how do I like chaos? And then I started thinking about it. I'm like, girl, you done created this. And I'm like, do I like chaos? I'm like, I don't like chaos. I feel like I can handle it. Yeah. So it's going to come. You know what I'm saying? But that doesn't mean you stop. Like in my head, heat doesn't equate to me stopping. It's a hurdle that I need to figure out how to get over so I can get on with doing the things that I want to do. So I don't look at it that way. And I'll let you weigh in on that too, Pinky.
So stopping is not an option. I think that when you are wired to win, like every challenge you're going to conquer, no matter how difficult it may be. Just like you said, that's why I laughed when you said it, Courtney, because like my comfort zone is when I got a lot on my plate. Right? Yes. If I don't got a lot on my plate, I'm like, what's going on? Because I'm used to being a multitasker. I'm used to being able to juggle multiple things at one time. That's when I feel like the grizzly bear the most, right? So that's the first thing. The second thing, when you talk about getting burned out, it's very necessary to have a solid team, right? Yeah. That team is everything. I got a bomb ass CRO. who make sure that all the financial affairs in the business are on point. I got some bomb people in marketing to make sure that the marketing page is on point. I have all the pieces, and I'm continuing to expand on those pieces, and I call them my village, right? Because I know realistically I can't do all this myself. I sit here and I'd be lying if I said that I did everything by myself, right? But I got people that's loyal to the company, loyal to the brand, and loyal to me, that's willing to do the work and do whatever is required, so that Pinky Cole ain't never got to get burned out, right? There's times that I'm tired here and there, but just because I'm tired, that don't mean I'm stopping. But now I have a great team that supports me in all things that I do, so I can do everything. And this is why, as an entrepreneur, you can work smarter or you can work harder. You get the wrong people, you're gonna be burnt out all the time. You get the right people, you can be on the beach with a Mai Tai and a coconut, right? You can be ideating and creating, because entrepreneurs, we're creators, we're ideators. I like to create for a living. If I feel like my mind is clouded and I can't build, that's where my problems come in. Right? If I feel like I can't be the creative genius that I know that I am, that is when the difficulties for me coming in. But as far as burnt out, I don't even know what that is, because this don't feel like work for me. And I love exactly what I do.
Right. Sure, I got to stop sometimes. I said, I feel bad for my team. I said, one day I had to stop. I was like, if I spring something else on them again, I said, that's going to be terrible. But yeah, you can't look at it. You can't look at it that way, and if you think it, and that's where experience comes from. Experience doesn't come from those good times. In order to make you a beast at what you do, it's legit because you have went through some things and you have overcome those things. So now you know that I'm going to do what it takes to avoid those things. But if you've never been through it before, then you don't have any experience. So, for me, like I said, I embrace the challenges. I don't want them, but I do embrace them because it comes along with the territory. I couldn't be a strong entrepreneur if I have not gone through some things. And that's just the hard reality of it.
Yeah.
Looking at y'all questions, make sure y'all type them in, because that's what I'm going to pull from. I'll take a couple of more. Somebody said teamwork. Yep, teamwork makes the dream work. That is true. And who was that? Somebody said it's more important to know when to fire than who to hire or when to hire. And that's a challenge. You know what I mean? It's a challenge. You don't want to fire anybody, but a bad apple can spoil the whole bunch. And that's a tough one, especially when you're a person who want everybody to make it and you want to see people thrive. That's a challenging one, but it's definitely important to understand and recognize that as well.
Mm-hmm. Courtney, it's interesting that you said that. So I was listening to a podcast, and the guy was basically saying that the minute when you are in business and the minute that you see that somebody is not a good fit for the team, you got to let them go immediately. And I had to learn that the hard way, because here I am, a young business owner, want to give everybody 1 and 2 and 3 opportunities to be better because I believe that people can change. But then I realized that I'm really crutching myself because I'm putting people in position that's making my life harder, right? So now I'm not giving second chances, right? If you show me that you aren't willing to do the work, if you aren't capable of doing what you told me that you could do in your interview, and I see the pattern in the beginning, then I gotta let you go. So I know the question was, is it harder to fire? It was a lot harder before, but I just fired my nephew. He wasn't doing what was required, and I
did that too.
Okay, and listen, and I love you to death, nephew, but you can't help me. You want to know why? Because I don't tolerate anything less than 100%. So if you less than 100%, I don't care if we share the same blood or the same clothes. You can't work with me. You can't help me build this empire because I don't tolerate lazy. So like entrepreneurs, be confident in that. If somebody is not working out for you in the beginning, 9 times out of 10, they really not going to change.
Right. And and what helped me kind of flip it, because I've done the same thing as my nephew, had to let my nephew go too as well. But when I flip it and I say, well, if indeed I'm your aunt or if I'm your relative or whatever, then you should go even harder for me than the other person that's there. Yes. You know what I mean? So you got to talk to yourself, and you got to talk to yourself sometimes. So it's hard to do these things, but when you flip it, it's like, okay, but shouldn't you go even harder because we're good?
Mm-hmm. But people not wired like that.
No, they're not.
Guys, there's no friends in business, right? When I'm in business, it's business. I actually have two friends. My brother makes the sauce, and my sister has my foundation. But I had to get to a place, and I told them before they started, listen, I'm hiring you because I want to give you an opportunity, right? And I believe that you could do this. They do an amazing job. But they also understand when it's time to work, we're not friends. I'm going to be the same way. If you give me a hiccup, just like anybody else, I'm going to be the same exact way because I understand that this is an empire that I'm growing. And if you can't respect that, and if you take advantage of that, then you're crushing me. You're not helping me. So for the people who, you know, have businesses, even if you decide to hire family, I'll never do it again. I'll be honest. but if you do decide to hire family, create boundaries so that they know exactly what it is before they start your company.
Yeah, that is a challenge. I will say, like, my first few years of business, I always just get those questions like, what's the hardest part? The hardest part. And I'll be like, family, like, that's the hardest part. You know what I mean? It's like, I can go through the other stuff. I think is I know what's going to come, finance stuff, you know, all of those other things, but that is a challenge. It is a challenge. And you know, it's, for me, I have to take it case by case. I can't see myself doing it again. But, you know, come along with the territory. I want to take Taylor's question about franchising. Let me see where she at. Raise your hand, where you at? I don't know if y'all see her, Lauren. Let me see it. Here we go, I think. Huh? Okay. Ain't gone. I want to see her question about franchising for her so she can, it's a good one.
Oh, I get that question. My friend.
I know. Where you at, girl? Where you at? It's like they don't just split. It's playing like 50 at a time. Her name is Taylor Jana. And we deep up in here, y'all. Hold on. Get myself together. I see her. Okay, hold on.
There's some good questions in this chat, though.
Hi.
Right. Oh, thank you.
So I have a question about franchising. My brand started as a virtual restaurant on DoorDash. We quickly rose to the top. Right now, we're ahead of McDonald's in my area. I have a question. How do I know my brand is ready to franchise? We just moved into a storefront. It's a carnival eatery, the first concept.
Oh, I love that. So what is it, like funnel cakes and?
Funnel cakes, fried Snickers, fried cheesecake. It's called Fried Everything.
Oh, that's okay. She says it was called.
So I actually love that concept. And let me tell you, that you can use it or you can lose it, but you open up where are you located?
I'm located in Houston, Texas.
Okay, so you open up your brick and mortar already?
Yes. No, it's not open yet. It's getting built out. They put paint on the walls today.
Oh, that's the bomb.
All right, virtual right now.
So this is twofold, right? So the first thing is you've built a concept digitally where your overhead was not that high because you didn't have to pay for a brick and mortar. So if you just said, forget the brick and mortar and you just want to franchise the ghost restaurant, right? Because the day and age that we living in, our new norm is people aren't really about to be engaging like how we used to be, right? So if you have a concept that has rose to the top above McDonald's, Burger King, and all the other companies, right? You create a franchisable model with the ghost restaurants because a lot of businesses now are becoming ghost restaurants because one, it's more affordable, two, you save on labor, and then it's not a face on the storefront, right? So you can continue to make money and cut a lot of your costs. So you could do a franchise there, right? If you decide to do the franchise model with the brick and mortar, what I would say to you is make sure that your processes, your procedures, your SOPs, all of that is on point because you never want to hand your baby over to somebody else that can't take care of it, right? Because that's the surest way for your business to fail. So I think that you should give it some time. My advice to you is when you open up this business, since you're going to do it the brick and mortar way, you need to identify a franchise company. there's a lot. Google franchise companies. So it'll cost you about $25,000 to $30,000. I did it in the beginning because at first I thought that that's what I wanted to do out the gate, but I quickly realized that my brand was so near and dear to me that I wanted to wait and build up the brand because it's so unique. But for something like that, for you, that's an easily franchisable business, right? You pay the $25,000 to $30,000. They'll build the SOPs, they'll build the processes and procedures, they'll build everything for your business, and then you package it up, make it pretty, they'll connect you with a broker, and then you go out and start pitching and say, hey, this concept is doing well, here are the numbers, here's the packet, here's the deck. If you want to buy into this concept, you can buy in. And then what I would do is, your early employees, let them be the first franchisees, because now it speaks to the story, right? I'm sure you probably got family, friends, or somebody that you know that has helped you with this business, right? Let them be the first franchisees because they know the model, they know the brand. So now they're like the test dummies for the business. So you know you're just not giving it to a stranger. But a franchise company will charge you about $30,000. If I were you, I would wait about 1.5 years to 2 years and just make sure that everything is streamlined and processed properly. And then in the meantime, work on the franchise model so that by the time you're ready to hand it off, you know and feel confident that the business will run without you.
Yes,
Right.
thank you.
Yeah, and like she said, you know, you got to have something to be able to duplicate. So when you hand it off to somebody, they should definitely be able to mimic what you have done. So if you haven't necessarily like built it in that way that they can take this and actually duplicate it just like you have, then that would definitely be like the first line of operation, definitely for a franchise, I would think.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. And you'll see yours come unmute for the next individual.
You know, dope. She could get food trucks too.
Yeah.
And
I was going to ask you about that too. So you guys are like touring. So tell me about it. Like, what?
Slutty Vegan is
You coming to some of these? You probably like, you just not necessarily. Some of these, like, how's that going?
Some of them I go to. I haven't been to the last 2, 3 because of COVID, and you know, I just want to make sure that the CEO can't handle COVID. And, you know, I just try to stay out the way. But we make sure that everybody's social distance. But we get a lot of people that come to these tour stops. A lot of a one Instagram page. And what I'm really doing is I'm just testing the market, right? I'm testing the market to see where Slutty Vegan would do well. Instead of paying somebody to do the research, we are actually doing the real-time research, getting all the data from the people in that city and popping up and opening up. So now when it's time to open these cities, I have all the data, I have all the phone numbers, I can ask raw questions, and I'm on a platform called Community. Have you ever heard of it?
You said Community?
Yeah.
No.
So Community is a interface where you could directly text your consumer, right? So this is good for all you entrepreneurs in here. Community, if you want to directly speak to your consumer, so I can text my customer like I'm really texting from my phone, no fine print.
Oh yeah, I actually seen that today. I did.
So on that platform, we have almost 20,000 people. So what we do is every time we go on tour, we just grab the data. So this tour is a concept testing tour, and it's a data play, right? Because data is worth more than money, right? Because you got the data, you're gonna always have the money,
right?
And it's been very successful. We've been doing it for 1.5 years now, and hopefully COVID dies down so that we can continue to move and decide which location works best.
That's what's up. Exactly. Yeah, I actually saved that. They served me an ad up this morning. I was like, let me check into this. Yeah. So good. So you find it very helpful?
Absolutely. And I would recommend it to anybody.
Okay. That's what, this COVID, I'm like, listen, I'm launching new brands. I'm like, this COVID won't let us be great. I said, well, we gonna push through it regardless. Okay. But yeah, you know, I'm like, I'm ready to get back out in these streets.
Yeah. Okay. Go back outside. Without
Oh my God. Yes. Okay. They got another one muted. Move fast and y'all then. All right.
Wow, you have people from Nigeria in here. That's amazing.
I know, right? She said it's 3 o'clock in the morning.
Day.
She unmuted. Check and give me her name. I can let her know who she is. So my team gonna help me unmute because it's okay. Janelle. Jahnell. She like, I ain't got no question. I just wanted to type that.
I love my cup, by the way, Courtney.
Thank you, girl. I actually got some iced tea. I'm over here dripping just in case y'all think I got a little iced tea in here tonight.
I got my beet juice.
Janelle Evans, she's not ready. We can go to the next one. Janelle, what's up? Okay. Who handled your branding? We can go to
You looking at it?
She said it wouldn't unmute. Janelle, hang on.
You looking at it? I lead the brand and I have a marketing team, but I drive all the creative. I have my middle of the night thoughts, and then I call my team or text my team in the middle of the night, like, listen, y'all, we need to do this right now. But all the branding.
I got one of my staff members here. She gonna say another person like you.
Yeah,
about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. I was like, where that phone at? Let me text her real quick before I forget this thought.
Listen, I call people in the middle of the night with my ideas, and they like,
see, I don't even call y'all. See, at least I email you. She calling.
Listen, because I got to get it off my chest. When it's on my heart, somebody got to hear it.
Somebody said Courtney's twin. Exactly. See there? See there? I'm like, it's about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. That's funny.
Courtney, when's your birthday?
Oh, December 19th.
I'm December. You a Sag?
Yeah.
See, this is why I knew. I'm December 8th. Look.
What?
Come on.
Yeah, no wonder I like you,
girl.
Hi, ladies. Congratulations to you both. Courtney, I join you every morning. I get up before I go to work to listen to your chat. My question is, I'm a federal government worker, and I no longer have it in me to work in the federal government anymore. And I want to go full-time entrepreneurship. I've done the government for about 16 years now. I'm 36, and I'm just kind of over it. And I can feel myself pulling away from it because I don't have that excitement, that thrill anymore. And I just want to go full-time with my business. And I'm just looking for any advice you both can give me.
What's your business?
I have a lipstick line that I just launched in February. It's Jaw Diva Cosmetics. And right now I just have lipsticks. It's doing pretty good, but I know it could be better if I could give it all my time.
Got it. Okay, so you started it earlier this year. You sell it online, people buy it online?
Yes, ma'am.
Who does your branding, your social and all that stuff? You do?
Yes.
Okay, and your goal is to do this business 100% full time?
I would like to, yes, because I know I could do better if I could give it more time.
Okay, so do you have money in the bank?
Yes, I've saved what I wanted to put towards my business and the money that I've made off of the lipsticks that I've sold this year.
Okay, so this is my advice that I give to all entrepreneurs who are still working a 9 to 5, right? So the easiest way for you to be able to transition, and this is in my humble opinion, transition out from working for somebody else to working for yourself is hire an assistant, right?
Okay.
So while you're still working at 9 to 5, you hire whether it's an intern, you can go to, where you live at?
In Maryland.
Oh, okay. Hey, Maryland. So all the local colleges in Maryland, they have business interns. So you can call up the school if you have an LLC and say, hey, do y'all have a program where you offer interns? Let me get an intern or two, right? You get those interns. They use college credit to help you build your company. They're already in the field while you're still working, right? And this is how you master the art of delegating. You tell them what it is that you want to do, right? So you can still make your coins working your 9 to 5 and be stacking up your money. And then you have an assistant to do the grunge work, right? So like the social media, the things that you don't really have the time to do right now. So by the time it's time for you to make your transition after 3 to 6 or 9 months, because you already done wrote the plan out, then you'll be able to transition into your business. Now you got 2 employees that work for you. You can hire them full time if they're good. And then you walking into a business that already has a true infrastructure instead of walking away from something that's solid, that you got a consistent paycheck every week or every 2 weeks, to something that you feel confident knowing that, all right, I walked away from this, but not only do I have money saved in the bank, I already had 2 interns really help to continue to set the brand up. And now I could just hit the ground running. The worst thing that people do is walk away from their job cold turkey, right?
That's right.
So I'm the type of person, I bet my last dollar, right? And I'll do whatever. If I ain't happy, I'll just leave. However, being on the other side, I understand that you really got to have the plan in place. And if you do your plan properly, you can walk away from that job and say, screw y'all, I don't want to do this no more. You slide right into your business and continue to do what's already being done, because at that point, it's already doing well, it's thriving, it already has some sort of system, and now it doesn't feel like a crutch or a headache, and you don't have to stress about money, because now you already have this business that's continuing to bring in income for you.
Okay. Thank
And
you.
do you have a family? Do you have kids?
No, I don't have any kids, and I'm not married. My
Oh,
goddaughter.
they're gonna quit then. No, I'm just teasing. No, I'm just teasing.
My goddaughter, she actually does my social media for me.
Okay.
So I have her doing that part, just because I don't want to be sitting at work posting things.
But that's true. But listen, sometimes you hear me say you got to double up, triple up, quadruple up. Yes. I know you want to quit and go full throttle, but you can't necessarily. You got a digital business. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're running this thing digitally, it's a lot easier to say, well, let me quit so I can do this full time. Or you can say, I'm about to get minimum sleep because I'm about to, every second of the day that I'm outside of work, I'm grinding. So sometimes you got to throw all that stuff in there so you'll be able to make a move. See what I'm saying? So once you start getting that income in that can justify you leaving, that's going to be able to give you the ability to leave a lot quicker. But you can't say that I can do more because I'm going to tell you, when I was working a 9 to 5, I was almost putting them hours in as if I didn't have a job. Like every vacant hour of the day when I came home, I dedicated to that. I went to sleep early so I can get up early and give this thing my all, and then turn around and go to work. So it's not going to be comfortable. It's not, but it's possible. So the harder you can work at that thing, because your stuff is digital, like you're running that stuff on your phone. You know what I mean? You could come and put a plan together, like she said, 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, we sending messages. You could put a plan together. You go to bed at a good 9 o'clock, 10, 11, 12, 1, get back on up and hit it again. You know what I mean? Like you ain't got no kids and stuff now. You only need to have a good 6 hours and you good.
Right. And that's what I do now. Like I get up, I log on for my full time at 6:30 and I'm off by 4. I take 30 minutes.
You working at home too?
Yeah, so I log off by 4, but it's a demanding job. Like they watch your every move. And I get off at 4. I take like a 30-minute break, and then I work my business until like midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning. That I do.
Okay. Oh yeah, you got it made in the shade, girl. You got it made in the shade. Yeah, I would listen. I would be like, you got to double up. You got to. You will get there, but if you do it this way, you're gonna force yourself to be like, listen, let me get this thing my all so I can go in and make my move. But like I said, you can't wait to put that work in, like that extra, just because you're there. You got to do what you got to do. And the quicker you do that, it's going to be inevitable that you like, listen, I can't even do this because I got so many orders. I physically need some help trying to fulfill these things. Okay. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of stuff that you could do right now before you get to that point and stuff like that as well. So that's just my 2 cents.
I appreciate it.
You know, it's not going to feel comfortable. It's not, I will admit. But like she said, and once you do that, you hire an assistant, that's going to be an extra person you got to start paying. So before you get to that point, you got to put that all into that thing. Because the higher you start to go on, the more you're going to start having to divide up. And it's inevitable, and that's the only way you're going to be able to grow. But you got to do as much as you can on your own and understand it and do as much, you know, so before you get there. But you got it, you know, girl, you work from home, hang that thing up, next, time to get it popping.
And drop your company in the chat box so we can all follow you and support.
Okay, thank you.
So we'll take a couple of more and then we'll wrap it up. So Shanae Johnson. Where you at, girl? Where you at?
Hey y'all.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, good. I just had a quick question. I'm a realtor out in Cleveland, C-Town. I wanted to ask you guys a question. I work for NACA, which is a nonprofit organization that helps low to moderate income families find home ownership. So what drove me into that company, that mission right there, it stuck with me, but the way they do business, it's our cousins and them, and they don't know how to act. And it's kind of reflecting on me. And eventually I want to build my own brand and leave from them, but I don't want to ruin my reputation. I also want to hire a staff member as well to help me, because I am getting burnt out because it is a nonprofit. But I know that I'm going to own my own brokerage here in Cleveland. I see it clear as day. I got 9 more properties to sell till I get it, and I'm focused on that. But girl, pray for me, y'all. Every last person over here, pray for your girl, because I need it. I need some advice, y'all.
Shanae, let me ask you a question. So the company that you work for, they provide housing for low income people?
Yes, and they give me a referral. But I love the mission. We don't get paid like a typical realtor would outside of the nonprofit. So it's not about the money for me. It's about helping my people get home ownership.
Got it. Okay. All right. So you want to find a way to be able to do what you're doing with them on your own without ruining a relationship.
Yes. I love the company, but I have dreams of ownership. I want to be able to do the things I want to do, have that freedom. Copy. I know I'm getting it out the mud. I'm learning, but I really have my mind set on ownership.
Okay, so you're at the right place at the right time, right? So don't look at this as a job. Look at this as schooling, right? So you're getting real-time experience at a company that already exists. They may not be doing the best business right now, whatever is going on there, but you can learn what to do right. You can also learn what to do wrong and what'll happen if you do things wrong, and take all of that skills, all those skill sets and all the things that you learn over there, and you start the Singleton Foundation, right? So with your nonprofit organization, what you do is you create this foundation with a mission to help the inner city community, people who need housing funding. So what you're going to do is you want to teach classes. 2, you're going to advocate for people in low income communities. And how you do that through your foundation is you hire on a publicist, right? And you create a deck, and then you get your publicist to go out and tell the feel good stories about you, right? To extend that narrative. So now you got eyes watching you, because you in the community, say you buy your first house, right? For example, you buy your first house for a family. You help a family buy their first house that needs somewhere to stay. Boom. That's a feel good story. It's going to be on all the local news networks, right? So then you'll have news outlets start reaching out to you as you continue on with your program. You have your deck, you start pitching it out to big organizations, right? And then you can start getting donations. So this is how you get money in your foundation. Start getting donations to build these houses up. And then you go back to NACA, the company that you was working at, and just say, listen, I learned everything from you. I want to know how we can partner and collaborate, because I feel like the bigger mission is that we can both help the community. And that way, you don't tarnish no relationship, especially if you were a good employee there. And I think,
yes.
And I think that collaboration is key, right? If you're working at that company and they're all about empowerment, it wouldn't have anything to do with breaking a relationship. You could be able to do your own thing and then partner with them and be a leg with them and help to continue to grow the community. And then it's a win-win for everybody.
Yes, definitely. This year I was able to hit my first $1 million in sales. I left my job in April. So God is good, and I'm learning, like you said, I'm taking it as a learning experience. So thank you for your advice.
Absolutely. And a 501c3 takes about 3 to 4 months. But it's not hard to do it, but there's so many benefits in having a nonprofit, right? Because there's so many things that you can write off. I don't know what your backstory is, but everything starts with a story. So if you can build a comprehensive story that people will fall in love with your mission and your brand because of the story, then they'll support whatever you got going on.
Thank you. And this year I helped 7 single moms find home ownership. This is a passion of mine.
That should have been on the news. People should have been talking about that. That's a feel good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
It's
saying?
on my Instagram, girl, but it ain't on the news. So I'm gonna be reaching out.
Yes, get you a publicist. I'm telling you, listen, a publicist is your secret weapon, because all they do is tell the narrative of all the great things that you got going on. And people are always in the mood for a feel-good story. And when they can get a feel-good story, it's so much drama going on in the world. People just want to feel good. So if you can drop nuggets of feel-good stories, then people will start paying attention to you. They'll want to say, damn, I'm so proud of her. Let me just inject some capital into what she got going on so she could continue out her mission. And then that million is going to turn into 5 million, then turn into 10 million. And then you have this big, beautiful organization that everybody wants to be a part of.
Right.
Amen. Thank you.
Okay, so we'll take one more, and that is from Tiffany Greenlee.
Hey.
Hi.
Well, Courtney, I listen to you every morning as well. I think I've done a live with you before. My business is the Candle Bakery. And my question is, how do you, when my products are selling out online and I can't keep up with it because we hand make the candles and it's just me and one other person. How do you handle that when you're trying to produce the product, but you can't get it out as quick as your audience want it?
Well, to me, it sounds like you got a manpower issue. And, you know, from what I can hear superficially, and I think we probably touched on that before, if you have the orders like that, then you should, unless there's hopefully not some type of issue, but you should have the compensation to match. And you should be able to expand your team with that. And you can do it one at a time. So like for me, I don't normally hire a bunch of people at a time. I kind of slow walk it, and it'll be 1 to 2 to 3, and it'll go from there. But it seems like, I know you say I think you were working at home, possibly a facility, but even before facility, I would get another person in. Do you think you have the ability to afford another person from a physical perspective to help with manpower?
I actually, the funds are there to hire somebody for sure. The issue is teaching them how to make it, the timing, and teaching them how to make the candles that we make. But I do have the funds there to hire somebody. I guess even if I don't do nothing but get them to pack, so it can free up my time, because I'm also still working full time as a nurse. So I haven't left my job yet. So it's like I'm working 2 jobs.
Yeah, that's probably going to be, because like I said, I think we spoke about that's probably going to be your next move. You should definitely be able to start transitioning. You know, for me, you know, I was in nursing as well too. It went from full-time to part-time to what we call PRN as needed kind of thing. And it went from as needed to me transitioning into entrepreneurship full-time. So you're going to probably have to start kind of, I'm keeping these medical terms coming, titrating those hours down.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And to get some extra some help. Usually my first hires, due to the fact I sell products, is usually a manpower thing for me. And then I usually go into administration. For me, because I'm the one that kind of started, I'm the creator. And then it's like, okay, I got all these orders in, let me start expanding and get some physical help in here so I can get these orders out the door. Because when you have a product, obviously, people want their stuff like that. And if you don't have the ability to deliver like that, that's going to turn into an issue. So before I tarnish that, I would get some extra hands in there, like ASAP.
And the alternative is, and Courtney, obviously, you're more versed in the product world more than I am. But when she was saying it, I'm like, okay, all right, if you're making some good revenue with this business, maybe you should start sourcing some co-packers, right? So what I did is I have a co-packer for my fry seasoning, because we used to make the fry seasoning in-house. And one thing about making it by hand is it'll never, I mean, machine will never be to the T, but I know that it's a lot more accurate when I got a machine doing the exact accurate measurements. So I went and got a co-packer to do my fry seasoning because I wanted to have that consistent taste every single time. So if you're really making money in a business and you feel like it's too much for you to handle, you can find a reputable co-packer who can make the candle. You obviously sign confidentialities and do all of that. And you give them the recipe and they are your co-packer and they ship to you in bulk. And you could do like a net 30, right? Where you get things on credit. And then as you sell, you don't have to worry about having so many physical hands, but I don't know which step of the process you're in, but that's something for you to consider as your business continues to grow. You can get a co-packer to make the candles for you and then just have the person just shipping instead of them making and shipping.
And you can definitely probably cut down on your SKUs. So once you start going into somebody helping you manufacture at home, obviously you got the ability to make whatever you want to, all that kind of stuff. But once you start getting that stuff manufactured, then instead of having 40 different things launching, you may want to cut that back some. Because obviously once you start going into manufacturing, it's going to be like, how many of this one do you have to order? And that can get a little bit pricey. So that's why sometimes that's usually like a weight almost, unless you can like afford to get those minimums in there. If not, get you some extra hands. If you do, like you said, once you start expanding, at some point, if it's growing like that, you won't be able to keep up with that kind of demand. So you want to look for somebody who can help you manufacture that stuff. But again, you're going to have to control those SKUs. So it's great to create new stuff and all that good stuff, and you can, but it'll be a lot more strategic. So again, instead of having a slew of them, I would make sure for me, we always got what we call our, like our bread and butter product, our hero products. So what are those hero products? Which of those products are you selling the most of? And that's where you want to put your revenue in. That's where you want to put your investment in. So if it's 5 good ones and you are really selling those and the other ones you're kind of selling them sporadically, then you want to put your all into those particular 5. Like she said, you can get those manufactured, and the only thing you're doing is just straight shipping that stuff out as they come. But you want to do that when you don't need it. You don't want to look for that stuff when you absolutely need it. You want to start doing that at this particular time. So even if you're not ready to make that leap just yet, I would definitely find out who's who and what that cost look like, so you can start preparing for it at least.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that turn my lady mic off? Or you probably turned off yourself.
No, I was talking. I didn't know it was muted.
Yeah, it is muted too. What was you saying, girl? Finish your statement.
Okay, I greatly appreciate it. I never thought about the co-packing part at all. I never thought about that.
Yeah, only way you're gonna really expand, I think I made my products probably for the first 3 years. I made my products at home in the facility. And at that point, for me to have grown from 0 to 60,000 doors in like 2 years, there was no way I could have physically kept up with that type of growth. So I had no choice but to start getting someone to manufacture my products. Like,
and that's how I feel right now. It's so overwhelming because I'm producing it as quick as I can. We running out of space in my home, and I'm like, okay, I got to do something.
Oh, I know. Somebody once told me, they said, Courtney, this is a marathon, it's not a race. I said, no, this is a race, and I'm about to finish it. Okay. So again, if the slower growth, yeah, you can continue to make that stuff at home, but if you know what your plans are and you know you're ready to expand, you have to start sourcing that stuff now at this particular point.
Okay.
But I think this was great. I want to hear let me hear all the cheers. Hold on, don't do it just yet. Don't do it just yet. So we can hear it all on mute. So how was Pinky tonight, y'all? Little sis dropping them gems tonight, dropping them gems. So we want to thank you so much for being our first. And can you imagine Pinky? So when I told my staff, I'm like, Pinky is going to be, they like, Pinky? I'm like, yes, all the pink. I'm like, it's just fitting.
Wait, I'm just one?
You're the first one.
Well, look at that. Hopefully I set the tone, okay, for amazing coffee click conversations.
You did. I think this was amazing. Thank you so much for just shining some light on entrepreneurship, letting the ladies and gentlemen that go in here know that it is possible. Let them know that it's going to take hard work. And I think if nothing else, I stress to them in the morning when we do our conversations, like, listen, I'm going to tell you, you can do it. I'm just not going to tell you that it's going to be easy. Now, if you up for the challenge, like, let's do it. So I'm like, I'm going to be committed to getting up every day, answering those questions, trying to pull people who can answer those questions so they can see it. But what you're going to hear over and over again, that you just got to get this thing your all. And sometimes people ask me, what does it take? I said, everything that you got.
Everything.
That's what it's going to take.
Yeah.
So I humbly thank you for coming on here tonight and dropping these gems. We really appreciate that.
Yes.
I hear some, hold on, get them applause in. Let me get them applause in. There we go, there we go.
They come to Savannah, Georgia.
Yes.
You need to come to Savannah.
So I can't wait to get my Slutty Vegan. See what I'm gonna get.
Thank
Give me a
you.
husky. What I'm gonna get? A husky? A fussy husky? Okay, so that's what my niece told me to get. So I'm going to check it out, and congratulations on all that you're doing. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Listen, I want to leave this with everybody.
Yes.
Something my father always told me: success is like mud. You keep throwing it on the wall, something got to stick. And I hopefully that resonated with somebody. Just keep throwing it on the wall and something's going to stick. Don't stop. Just keep going. And everything that you want, you're going to always get. And again, thank you, Courtney, youtobomb.com. And, you know, we need to do a business one day together. We're going to talk about that offline one day, okay?
Let's do it. I'm game.
All right. Thank you again. Y'all have a good night.
Thank y'all. Bye. Bye.